begin. Jane will ring in the new year.
Call this meeting to order. If you'll all rise, we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance first. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our first order of business will be election of officers. Do we have a nomination for president?
I make a motion that we leave the officers as they were in 2015.
Second.
Okay, can we clarify the president in 2015 was Mike Winter and the vice president was that you?
Dale Strong.
Dale Strong, yes,
Okay.
that's correct.
So all, you can just do it all in favor. Does that make
No, you don't make a motion. We're in a motion and second it. Any further discussion?
Any further discussion?
If not,
If not, can we take a vote?
Yes.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
otherwise.
Okay.
Thank you. Before we get into the special session, our new mayor is here, and I'd like to welcome him to our meeting and give him an opportunity to introduce himself. For those that don't know, Mayor Gordon should be commissioner. You've never heard that, I'll bet.
No, I just want to come over and get acquainted with everyone, see how things are going. And so, because I'd like to go ahead and, we need the county and the city to work together. And that's why I'm here to learn what's going on and where we're at and do the best we can. So, thank you for letting me come up, and I'll see you soon.
Appreciate it. And I want to reiterate what I said.
Wait a minute. I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Did anybody tell you you're supposed to bring the pizza?
No. Leona didn't say nothing.
I want to reiterate
Mayor?
what the commissioner president said, that we're at your disposal. If you need us at any meetings, any one of us, I'm sure that any of us would be more than happy to attend your meetings, and I'll try to make it a...
And vice versa, I'll be happy to come over here, and I'm sure the council president or the vice president will be coming over also. So anytime, as long as I just want to work together well. So
Okay.
we're in here for the county and the city. So
Thank you.
thank you.
Harold, have you been informed about the meeting that we want to have between
Yeah.
the city and you've informed?
Yes, they had to change the
We have to
date.
change the date. We'll discuss that in our 6 o'clock meeting.
Okay, all right.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Okay.
See, McDonald.
That's satellite headquarters.
With that being said, we will discuss a proposed ordinance for GIS data selling with WTH.
Thank you.
My name is Steve Leatherman. I'm with WTH Technology, and I thank you for inviting me to this meeting. I'd like to provide a little bit of background to this ordinance. I'll be as short as I can, but I want to give you a little bit of context as to how this came up. We had a call from a company that does plat books, and they were making well, first off, our company does digital mapping, and we're in your county, and we provide some digital mapping services to your county. And we occasionally get requests from companies that want to obtain digital data, GIS data from a county to use for a purpose that is basically a commercial purpose that they want to use it for. And this was what we had in this case, a call from a company that does plat books, and they were making requests for GIS data for 4 Indiana counties. And 3 of those counties, we already have some structure in place, including this ordinance. And I asked what the time frame was for the plat book company, and they said they had enough time for us to at least approach the county and essentially describe the process that we have with the other counties. And the Indiana Open Records Law basically has a provision in it for dealing with electronic data. And it basically says that a county, if it wants to, can put together an ordinance, has to be approved by both council and commissioners. And what that ordinance basically says is that it is willing to share its data if it approves it. If the county, once this is approved by the council and the commissioners, then the commissioners basically do the approving of individual applications that come before it. But if they approve that, then the county can charge a reasonable fee basically for maintaining the data that's being asked for. If this ordinance is not in place, then you're sort of in an open situation. You're not in accordance with the open records law, and there's not a procedure in place to really handle the data. So where this ordinance comes from is it's something that's in the open records law as an option for a county to put in place if it wants to follow the open records law and charge a reasonable fee for the data. What we have done, and this started a number of years ago, maybe as many as 10 years ago, as we as a company got requests from counties that we provide GIS services for, we made them aware of the open records law and the potential of putting together an ordinance. And over time, we basically had counties that went ahead and adopted the ordinance and used WTH to basically handle the mechanics of handling this kind of request, and eventually, if the commissioners approved a particular vendor, then we would actually provide the data, do the invoicing, and provide a little bit of money back to the county. And over a 10-year period, we now have 27 Indiana counties that basically have approved ordinances and have a procedure in place to basically handle this process. And it's the same for all 27 counties, so there's not differences between counties. So what you have is an ordinance that basically, as I say, it has to be approved by council and by commissioners to set this process in place. I also have an agreement that would be approved by the commissioners if the commissioners want to approve it, that would allow WTH to basically handle this kind of process for these kinds of requests. In that agreement, there's a price schedule, and what we have been charging as a reasonable price for the last 10 years has been $750 for a one-time data request of GIS layers. And there's also a provision if they want a continuous flow of data, and that's $1,500 a year. I would say in that 10-year period, we've had maybe 2 requests for the continuous, so it's generally the one time. And in that agreement, it basically says that WTH, for 2/3 of that amount, $500, basically handles the process. And the county basically ends up, if they are invoiced and the whole process goes through, gets 1/3 or $250. It's not a lot of money, but it's one of those rare things where money actually comes back to the county. How many requests do we get a year for this kind of thing? We probably get maybe 30 requests a year for the entire state. So for those 27 counties, we might get a total of 30 requests. We may have a county that doesn't get a request for 2 or 3 years. We may have a county that gets 2 or 3 requests in a single year. But I want to give you a sense that this is a relatively uncommon thing. But having this paperwork in place means that both the county and our company have a procedure to handle it when it comes. So if all this paperwork was in place in Fayette County, when we got the request for that plat company that wanted the data, we would basically, the procedure would be, that someone in the county would say, okay, well, that's the kind of request that sounds like something that follows this procedure, so contact WTH. The vendor would contact us. We would send them a copy of the application. We would say if they want to proceed, then they need to sign it. Come back to our office. We in turn would send that with a cover letter to the auditor of the county. And then the auditor would present it to the commissioners. Commissioners have a chance to review the request. And then if they approve the request, then we would get a copy signed by the vendor and the county. And at that point would invoice the company. When the company sends the check in to us, then we would provide them with the data. So those are the steps that would go through. And so if this process, if the paperwork was in place, then we get a call from a county plat, from someone doing a plat company or a county plat. We have a procedure to basically handle that. So that is a little bit of context. Do you have some questions about what this is, what this process is, why it came about?
I don't have any particular questions.
Yeah, real quickly, Steve, you've got the county engineer / surveyor and the commissioners here. We handle the ordinances, the commissioners handle the contract. So, Warren, you currently have contract with WTH, right?
The county does for the maintenance of the GIS system.
Okay. Does anyone know if the county attorney has had a chance to review this ordinance? He has?
Yes.
Okay. So everything's okay there?
As far as I know, I gave the information to the county attorney for his review. I think he told the commissioners it was okay.
Are you and the commissioners in agreement on this?
Yes.
Okay. I wasn't at your meeting this morning, so I don't know if it was discussed this morning or what went on, so.
No, it was not discussed this morning.
Okay.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, we had approved it prior pending our attorney's approval, am I correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Just been a month or so ago.
Maybe even November, I'm not quite sure.
Okay. Well, if they feel like they've got everything squared away, that satisfies my curiosity.
I agree.
Say, for the council, that actually means that when you get one of these requests, a little money comes back to the county, so.
Yeah, it'll be very little, but the plat books are nice. I like the plat books.
I will give you an idea of the kinds of requests that we do get. There are companies that collect data that they put in their system, and then they will sell to national insurance companies, like flood insurance companies would be an example. There are engineering firms that are doing a multi-county project, and that would be an example. County plat books would be an example. Energy companies that are contemplating some kind of energy project are an example. So those would be, that probably represents about 80 or 90% of what requests we do get for this. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I guess we just need is there an ordinance number for this?
It'll have to be number one.
Imagine.
Yeah. Unless
Just know the ordinance.
Jane's got a better idea.
001? Or 01?
Just 01. I'll move to approve ordinance number
2016-01.
2016-01.
I have a motion on the floor to accept joint ordinance 2016-01. Is there a second?
I'll second.
You have a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of approving joint ordinance 2016-01 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Okay, that was everything for the intent of this meeting. At this point,
Since this is a special session just for this item, I'll move we adjourn this meeting, and we'll reconvene our regular session at 6 o'clock.
is there a second?
Yes, second.
Have a second, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, meeting adjourned.